Welcome to Wings of Fire Dreams. Today, on the day 5, we are going to see the topic Formation of Tamil Nadu. The contents are taken from 12th standard book Formation of Tamil Nadu State. In the year 1802, Lord Wellesley created the Madras Presidency. This Madras Presidency was an administrative subdivision of British India. This administrative subdivision included the present day Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, some parts of Odisha, Kerala, Karnataka, and the Lakshadweep. After the independence, Madras Presidency became the Madras state. Then, due to the linguistically based reorganization of Indian states on November 1, 1956, the new separate state for Tamils was created, and that was formerly known as the Madras state. Later, the name of the Madras state was renamed as Tamil Nadu after the great political struggle of Tamil people. The emergence of linguistic nationalism. In the early 20th century, along with the national consciousness, the linguistic regional consciousness also emerged in the different parts of India due to the influence of the vernacular press and regional political associations. The Indian nation, imagined by the Indian National Congress, a leading body of nationalist movement, contained several problems. One of the problem was it gave the honored position of the national language to Hindi. This created the way for the emergence of Tamil linguistic subnationalism in the second decade of the 20th century. It witnessed the emergence of non-Brahmin movement as a complex issue that included caste conflict, linguistic nationalism, and class struggle. T. Madhavan, Tyagaraja, and other non-Brahmin leaders formed the South Indian Liberal Federation. Later it was popularly known as Justice Party. Justice Party was had contested in the provincial elections of Madras at 1920 and it emerged victoriously and formed the government. From 1920 to 1937, it formed four out of the five ministries. Finally, it lost to Congress in the 1937 election. It never recovered. Later emerged the leadership of Periyar E.B. Ramasamy and his self-respect movement. These movements created great influence in the Tamil people's culture and political life. The consciousness of Tamil nationalism emerged in South India due to the impact of these movements. The idea of Dravida Nadu. Indian National Congress strengthened its organization in Tamil country through the civil disobedience movement. In 1937, Congress won the Madras Legislative Assembly election and Rajaji became the chief minister. After that, he prioritized and implemented two public policies. First one was abolishing untouchability, and the second one was adopting Hindi as the national language. Rajaji announcement that Hindi should be the compulsory subject in schools was perceived as an insult to the non-Brahmins' pride as Dravidians or Tamilians. EVR Periyar and other self-respect movement members organized marches and massive anti-Hindi conferences. Tamil scholars like Marai Malai Adigal, Thiruvi Kalyanasundana, and others convened a lot of public meetings and created awareness among the people about the imposition of Hindi. EVR Periyar extended his wholehearted support to this agitation. He raised even a slogan, Tamil Nadu Tamilarke. He organized Dravida Nadu Conference in 1939 and demanded the separate independent Dravida Nadu. Kamarajar and Rajaji. A consequence of this protest was the demand for the separate state for the non-Brahmin people, which also included the Tamils, Telugus, Kannadigas, and the Malayalis. 1944, E.V. Ramasamy reorganized the Justice Party into Dravidar Kazhagam in the Salem Conference in order to streamline the voice of Tamils upon the social cause and for the upliftment of the Tamils. Periyar's Salem Conference was noted for militancy and mass arousing spirit. Now, the object of Dravida Kazhagam was to proclaim a sovereign independent Dravidian republic, which would be federal in nature, with four units corresponding to the linguistic divisions, each having residuary powers and autonomy of internal administration. However, the struggle for Dravida Nadu could not get the support outside the Tamil speaking territory. The idea of the state of Dakshina Pradesh. Rajaji initiated the creation of a new concept of political state in South India. This initiation was to counter the Dravida movement. Dakshina Pradesh means the amalgamation of Tamil Nadu and Kerala. He spread his ideology through his followers like C. Subramaniam, Bhaktavatsalam, and some others. Rajaji's political idea was vehemently opposed by most of the political parties of South Socialist Party, Achyuta Menon of Cochin Communist Party, and A.K. Gopalan, leader of Travancore Communist Party, strongly opposed the idea of state of Dakshina Pradesh. E.V. Ramasamy wrote an editorial column in the press Vidudalai and requested all Tamils to send telegrams against the formation of Dakshina Pradesh to Chief Minister of Madras government. Meanwhile, the people of Karnataka also opposed the concept of Rajaji, particularly Sardar Saranagowda of Karnataka's People's Party. However, Rajaji and his supporters once again raised the concept of Dakshina Pradesh at Amritsar Congress Conference in 1956. Therefore, K. Kamaraj, Chief Minister of Madras State, reflected people's resistance and stood against Dakshina Pradesh. He opposed the Dakshina Pradesh concept in all the public meetings, and it had aroused a great spirit among the peoples who were ready to fight against the concept of Dakshina Pradesh. Formation of Tamil Nadu. The formation of Tamil Nadu, based mainly on political trends and conceived after the linguistic status reorganization, emerged as an offshoot of the freedom struggle of India. The States Reorganization Commission submitted the final report in 1955. It recommended the creation of the state of Madras, Mysore, and Kerala. According to the States Reorganization Commission, the new Madras state came into existence on 1st November 1956. The States Reorganization Act 1956 was a major reform of the boundaries of Indian states and territories, organizing them along linguistic lines. The State Reorganization Commission recommended on the basis of the people speaking Tamil in the four taluks, namely Agathishwaram, Thovalai, Kalkulam, and Vilvankod, to move to Tamil Nadu from the state of Travancore. The same yardstick was applied for the transfer of Shankota taluk to Tamil Nadu. However, while dealing with Devikulam and Idukki, even though the majority was Tamil speaking people and the representatives to the state assembly were Tamils, the commission used a different yardstick and recommended to retain in Travancore, Cochin state due to geographical reasons. Struggle for renaming Madras state into Tamil Nadu. After the attainment of a separate state for Tamils, they were not fully satisfied since they wanted to change the name of the state from Madras to Tamil Nadu. The States Reorganization Commission had not recommended for the adoption of the name Tamil Nadu for the reorganized Madras state. Mapusi tireless efforts on all party conference was convened on 27 January 1956, which called for a general hotel on 20th Feb 1956. A number of protests and agitation took place in Madras state. Sankar Linganar, a freedom fighter and one of the disciples of Gandhi, who belonged to Virudhunagar, Tamil Nadu, demanded to rename the Madras state as Tamil Nadu. He observed fast unto death from 27 July 1956 to his last breath on 13th October 1956. The death of Sankralinganar created a mass struggle in Madras state. College students, laborers, women, and different organizations openly participated in the movements. Later, this affected the politics of Madras state. Owing to the influence of these movements, Congress lost its popularity among the people. Finally, it reflected in the 1967 general election when the Congress was totally swept away from Tamil Nadu and Dravida Muneta Kazhagam captured political power. DMK renamed the Madras state as Tamil Nadu. In an multiculturalism, diversity, and process of nation building. In an age of liberal democracy, people's will, rights, and their linguistic cultural identities and their economic development have to be the basis of nation building. The great nation builders of modern times, like Mahatma Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru, were against religious or cultural nationalism. They acknowledged the plural base of emerging New India, hence advocated a democratic, liberal, and federal India. However, many thinkers have pointed out that the constitution of our new India, through called India a Union of States, did not provide adequate financial and political powers for the constituent states. Over centralization, along with the insistence on a single national official language, Hindi, replacing English, would erode into the cultural and linguistic identity of the constituent regions. Jawaharlal Nehru could see the perils involved in replacing English with Hindi, hence gave an assurance on the continuance of English as long as the non-Hindi people decide the same. Thanks for watching this video. For watching more videos, please subscribe to our channel. Welcome to